On the edge of a quiet valley lived a farmer named Ethan. Every morning, Ethan walked through his fields, checking the crops, feeding the animals, and planning all the things he wanted to accomplish. Near the back of his property stood an old wooden dam. It had protected his farm for years by holding back water from a nearby stream. But lately, Ethan had noticed something troubling. A crack had appeared in the wood. It wasn't large, just a thin line. Still, every time he looked at it, he thought the same thing. I should fix that soon. One afternoon his neighbor, Mr. Carter, stopped by. He looked at the dam and frowned. "Ethan, that crack is getting bigger." Ethan nodded. "I know. You should repair it before the rainy season starts." Ethan smiled. "Probably next week." The following week came. The weather was beautiful. The sky was clear. The air was warm. Ethan decided there was no rush. There would be plenty of time later. A few days passed. The crack widened slightly. Again he noticed it. Again he told himself, "Next week." As summer moved on, the same conversation repeated inside his head. Whenever he walked past the dam, he felt a small warning in his stomach. But warnings are easy to ignore when nothing bad is happening. The farm was doing well. The sun kept shining. Life felt comfortable. And comfort has a way of convincing us that tomorrow is guaranteed. Then one evening, everything changed. Dark clouds rolled over the valley. The wind picked up. Thunder echoed across the hills. Within hours, heavy rain began pouring from the sky. The stream swelled rapidly. Water rushed against the old dam with growing force. Ethan stood on his porch, watching the storm. For the first time he felt real fear. The crack. He grabbed a flashlight and ran toward the stream. Rain soaked his clothes. Mud splashed beneath his boots. When he reached the dam, his heart sank. The crack had become a gap. Water was already forcing its way through. Ethan tried to reinforce the structure. He pushed boards against it. He hauled rocks. He worked desperately through the storm. But the water was stronger. Much stronger. With a loud crack, the dam finally gave way. A wall of water rushed across the fields. By sunrise, parts of Ethan's farm were underwater. Fences were gone. Months of work had been washed away in a single night. As he stood in the muddy field, exhausted and silent, Mr. Carter walked over. Neither man spoke for a while. Finally, Ethan shook his head. "I thought I had more time." Mr. Carter looked at the flooded land and said quietly, "Most people do." The truth is, Ethan didn't lose his farm when the storm arrived. He lost it every time he walked past the crack and chose to wait. And many of us do the same thing. We know the phone call we need to make, the dream we want to start, the habit we need to change, the relationship that needs attention, the opportunity we've been postponing. We see the crack, we notice the warning, yet we tell ourselves next week, after things settle down, when life gets easier. But life rarely sends a final reminder. The storm doesn't schedule an appointment. It simply arrives. The people who succeed aren't always the smartest or the most talented. Often they're just the ones who started before they felt ready. Because the price of beginning today is almost always smaller than the price of waiting. So ask yourself, what is the crack you've been ignoring? And if you already know the answer, why not start today?